Another good turn. As you can see, we now have a new clerk, or rather a locum clerk, for the time being, until we appoint another clerk, if that's agreed by members.
Could we understand what the remit of the locum clerk is, please?
Well, take the minutes of the meeting here.
That's it.
Starting. Right, receive a call.
I will prepare minutes as well.
We have one apology from Jean Sebagar and another from Teresa Kirkman. She said she'd try and make it. Obviously she hasn't.
Sorry. This question about what the clerk's going to do, I mean, presumably in between meetings there's some work that will be done. You know, we've got, Dave and I have got things to do, say, on football, and we've got stuff like that. So
You're talking about the...
just letters or follow-up issues.
But they're tasks that you would undertake, are they? Or are they tasks that the clerk would
The clerk will do. I mean, for example, planning, I tend to sit with one or two other people and we look at planning issues, and then traditionally I think the clerk then conveys that information to Aylesbury Vale District Council. I mean, I've actually done it in the last month, made those, but I'm not sure that's the right way of doing it.
Well, you have to use common sense in some cases, in the parish council. It would be foolish to do anything else. If you've got a planning application that needs a response by a certain date.
No, but I'm saying, it's not, so your role, I'm just trying to understand what your role is, that's all. Is it just at the meetings, or will you come in during the day, or?
It needs to see we need to see exactly what's involved. I already have my own parish council.
Okay.
So I can't commit the hours, and I'm getting old now, and I'm a lady.
No.
You know, I don't want to spend all my time doing parish work,
No.
especially if I might say, in the light of this wonderful government, in the form of Mr Pickles, who seems to think it's absolutely fine for people to come on here and record meetings and film them. But nobody asked me if I wanted to be filmed or recorded at work. So I will not be a clerk for very much longer, because the government is making it increasingly difficult. For the same kind of money you could get if you were stacking shelves in Tesco's, and believe me what, clerk needs to know well. It's taken me 16 years and I don't know it all. So I just wanted to make that clear. There is another thing I want everybody to be aware of, that if you do speak in a meeting, if the chairman allows you to, I will close the meeting and reopen it when you've finished, and what you say will not be minuted. It's not a requirement of a parish council meeting. Just so that you're aware of that, because I'm not unfamiliar with the difficulties that this council has gone through, and I'm not here until 10 or 11 at night. I'm used to a council that gets all its business done between an hour and an hour and a quarter.
Okay.
And I expect people to behave and act with dignity. Just make it, this is the parish council meeting, it's here to make decisions on the current workings of the council. I don't want to go into history, and I don't want anything that is not to do with the current workers of the council, just so you're aware. And you won't upset me. I've done several councils as council passenger school, attended several councils, and I have got absolutely nothing to gain by staying, but I am a resident. And it's very upsetting for me as a resident to read about what's going on in the local paper. So just so that you know. I am not stupid. I have got the certificate in higher education for local policy, and I've got a diploma in management studies, and I'm a member of I'm a principal of the Institute of Local Council Managers. So just so that you know, I do know what I'm talking about. Okay.
Motion.
For councillors to make a declaration of any personal and or prejudicial interest in items on the agenda.
Come on, guys.
None. The minutes of the parish council on the 6th of August have been circulated. Are they an accurate record, members?
next one.
Yeah. Can I have a proposal and seconder then?
So you want to throw us in the minutes?
Tony, proposer, seconder please.
I'll second.
Mary. Okay, I'll sign.
Is everybody, is it that unanimous, or does anyone want to, I sent some dissension. No, everybody's happy.
Right, the extraordinary meeting on the 20th of August is also needs to be approved. That's probably, touches on what Tony was on about. That's the employment of a interim proper officer and clerk until a permanent replacement can be appointed. And the council will appoint a councillor to undertake the role of proper officer or clerk until an interim proper officer or clerk is appointed. At that meeting, Councillor Plowman agreed to do the finance side of it, but now has declined. The only person who is now authorised to sign cheques at the moment until Martin's authority comes through is myself.
Mr. Chairman, can we understand why Councillor Plowman declined? Because, I mean, we all wanted him to do this, and he wanted to do it.
I sent you an email, haven't I? Anyway,
Well,
it's too dangerous by half time. I'm not going there.
Can I ask what the concerns are about, which council you talk about, current or Lothians?
Current.
Anyhow, members, the those minutes have been circulated. Can they be approved?
Based on the understanding of the discussion that's just been had, I'll
I was not that.
No, you weren't.
Well, I wrote them, Chairman. So.
okay.
So,
Yeah.
yes, okay. Is that agreed? In the interim, until we can appoint a clerk and a proper officer, someone actually needs to do the job, and it does appear that the only person who can and sign cheques is me. So, unless it's the only way that we can continue, members.
There is something I need to tell you, that legally you must have two signatures.
There is a second signatory, it's mine, it's with the bank. I've been down and completed the forms.
Oh, right, they usually come through quite quickly, if you get it right, which
Yeah.
is a miracle.
Yeah, well, I post them straight away.
So that means that any checks you have tonight, you'll have to wait for them to be sent.
Okay.
Can I question that just briefly? It's nothing to stop us putting two signatures on a cheque, it's just the bank won't enforce it.
Well, if you're lucky, the bank will notice, sometimes they just shove it through, don't they, you know that. But no, legally you should have two authorised signatories. And I have been in a situation where the bank has checked, amazingly, and returned a cheque to me, so.
Right, we move on then to Chairman's monthly report. There's one thing I should have mentioned at the last meeting. Teresa Kirkland did a wonderful flower display in the church, and she needs to be entered in the minutes to thank her for that. Also in last month's minutes, 14107, a motion to replace this Finance and Staff Committee with a full Parish Council was rejected. It resolved that the current Finance and Staff Committee would continue with its responsibilities. A vote was taken, 8 council in favour, 1 abstained. Unfortunately, the clerk didn't record who had, well, all we really need to know who abstained, and then that could be completed. Does it record who abstained from that?
think she wrote it in an email actually, Mr Chair.
Did she?
I think she did, I think she wrote in an email that she abstained from that, resolution.
The clerk's monthly report, well, don't think you've had time
The
for one.
weather's been nice.
Sorry,
No,
Mr
sorry,
Chairman,
I can't-
did you finish your report?
Well, that's all I have to say.
Should I ask a question?
Yes, certainly.
What's under the audit?
The audit.
The audit for last year,
Yes.
I've actually got all the accounts here, there's nothing wrong with your accounts at all, except that I've got to verify that check with you.
I've checked it, yeah.
But I need to do it myself to look at it today. Your accounts are perfectly fine. There were 3 minor errors made, which you have paid an so-called internal auditor, probably a firm of accountants who know nothing about parish council meetings. 3 minor errors which anybody could have made. I found them and your books balance perfectly well.
So have we
And all of your
resubmitted the forms?
expenditure I've looked and it is legal, so there's nothing wrong with your accounts.
Have we resubmitted the form to
No,
Ms.
no,
Owens?
I've only actually finalised that yesterday.
Fine.
Right, so I will speak to Mr Christopher at Mazars.
Yeah.
And see if he wants me to have a new form or whether to change the old one.
Okay.
It's looking a bit messy. And I don't know how you got away with it, but you didn't actually put the minute number or the minute date. I would have got away with that. If you forget to put the name of council on the top, you usually report it. So it might be prudent to get a new form. I understand you paid the internal auditor, which is a shame. They're rubbish, absolute rubbish. I just can't understand how either firm of accountants could not see that books don't balance. So I'd certainly look elsewhere. If I'm still here, I'll be doing internal audit next year if I'm not wrong.
Mr Chairman, I'm just a little bit confused here. At the beginning of the meeting, we asked what the clerk, what her remit was, and was to take the minutes of the meeting tonight. But yeah, obviously she's been, which I've not got a problem with, but obviously been doing additional work. Is that correct? Because obviously now she's obviously looked through the minutes, or looked through the
Oh,
account.
yes, you've done the accounts.
I know it was a concern to a lot of people. Anyone can.
I'm not,
No, no.
I'm just a bit concerned that
anyone can take
I've been
these
told one
away
thing and
and
then,
look at them, and if they wanted to try and balance, they could. There is a lot of work involved. I've had to go through and check every single transaction from the bank account to what actually was recorded on the cash book.
I've got no issues in the fact that what you've done. My concern is at the beginning of the meeting, we were informed that you're just taking the minutes of the meeting to find out exactly what you've been asked to do. But it seems to be that actually there's a bit more that you've been doing, and it's just nice for us as a council to know exactly, because the question was put by Tony exactly what how we're going to operate, and we were told it was just literally going to be the minutes. So what is the?
Well, that was the past. For the future, I am not going to clerk meetings unless it seems that you need extra, and I can do it, and it's acceptable. This I saw as urgent, and there are times when you've actually got to just bite the bullet and do it. What I've done is what any
I'm not questioning that at all. Don't get me wrong, I'm not questioning. I mean, thank you for doing that. My question was, I'm just a bit confused about exactly
no,
what your role you've been asked to do and who's asked you to do it really, because obviously, as far as I was aware, you were just coming in to take the minutes of the meeting.
Yeah, this is the last year, 2013 to 14.
I'd be grateful for a copy of the form you resubmit to Ms. Owens.
Certainly,
Thank you.
and it will.
Right.
In fact, everybody has to see them. And it has to be formally agreed again at another meeting. But I will talk to the Mazars and explain that there may be a delay in another month. They're fine, provided they know there's a meeting.
Right, agreed payments for September. They have been circulated.
I've got questions. Sorry, good question. Sorry, I've just got first one. The Wendover Arm Trust membership subscription. I think it was over a year ago. We did discuss that in council, and it was agreed by majority vote that we weren't going to subscribe to that. The following month, we have paid it, and I think your response was that was for the previous year. So I presume this subscription here, which is £25, relates back to when we discussed it last year, which we did not approve to be paid.
Well, that's not been paid. I mean, if you approve it to be paid, it will be paid, but that's not been paid, it's for your approval.
So, well, I'll just refer back to that meeting where we decided democratically that we did not want to pay for
So
that.
the membership will, is that members agree there?
7th of November date.
7th of November.
Why did we say we weren't going to pay?
I've no idea, that's a year ago.
Well, I can't remember, Marion, but it was discussed. I mean, I suppose if we want to pay it, it should go on to be an agenda issue. But all I'm saying is, you know, it was discussed and democratically voted on that we weren't going to subscribe to it.
That must be minuted somewhere.
Yeah, it is. It should. Well, it should be.
Anyhow, they've sent through, asked for subscription, it's put down. If the members don't wish to abide by last year's decision, then we won't pay the £25. Is that agreed, members? Everyone's agreed?
Well, until we have an agenda item to change that, I presume it's got to stand, isn't it?
Well, no, we're agreeing the finances for September, and if we're not,
I don't know how we can. Well, personally, I can't agree that then. Because
But that is, if you don't want something on that list to be paid, then now is the time to say, I don't want that.
It's not so much what I want; it's what the council agreed, isn't it?
Everybody's just approved
That's it.
that
So that
motion.
will be amended.
Over agriculture,
Yes.
according to the invoices, we're paying in for June, July and August. I thought June had been paid in July. I think we need to dig out the last invoice. Because in June there was agriculture £464 which was paid in July, so I would assume that's for June, yet it's down again. So that was the last invoice, I don't know. That's in the actual invoices that Ever Agriculture gave us. Definitely on the,
So that'll need to be checked.
Yes, I'll check it, I'll just see if I can see it.
it's on the July minutes, on the expenditure there. Mowing and other works in the park, £464.
Chairman,
Don't want to pay the
have we got the invoice for this month from?
Yes, I think,
That's just checking it in.
All right.
Joe's got it now.
Is it a detailed one?
It does June, July and August mowing,
Yeah,
and dates on there.
if we look at the one for June, it actually specifies April and May.
Yeah, but I'm about the July, not June. July is on there as well. In June he was on there for April and May, and in July he's on there, which must have been for June.
Yeah, there is one there, but it doesn't have doesn't specify.
No, but then the previous one said April and May.
All right, well, we'll check.
That's what I'm saying.
I'll check it.
Thank you.
Check the invoice for the,
It'll be June, wouldn't it? June invoice, I'd have thought.
okay, members. Other than those which I will check, is the others approved?
Can I have a show of hands?
Any abstentions then? 2 abstentions. To discuss the removal and replacement of a lamp post damaged by a car in New Road. I think I even circulated photographs of that.
small one too.
No, it's not.
No, I thought that.
Oh, there is another one besides
Oh,
that. That one's in.
When we're close,
When we're close, yeah.
that's completely
Yes,
gone.
it's running into lamp posts.
Might be some new time at the moment.
Well, of course it does, yeah, that's right, yeah.
You see what it's been like, members. We never identified who had actually run into this lamp post.
I did give your previous clerk some information which I had, and it happened in Horton, to apply to the motor insurance bureau,
Make a claim,
to
yeah.
make a claim.
Can we do that?
It's worth a try.
Yeah, can we do that?
There were quite a lot with us,
Mm.
they paid the whole lot.
Did they really?
So which, do you agree with which, be sure to
Yeah, we should do that.
Make a claim.
Can I just I don't believe we should pay for anything on that. I mean, particularly in a minute where we're very tight for money, until we know what that claim is back on that, we can claim or not.
What is the situation now across the road? Is it safe?
Well, you've got a picture of it there in the,
Well, it's been like that for months.
yes, the person outside whose house it is, although they don't live there, they rent it out, say that it's,
I support Councillor Wallace's view as well, Chair, and I think we should have it removed, the same as we had done the one in Willow Close, and have it made safe and temporarily grassed.
But yeah, I should say that, but I'm quite happy with that.
said it without moving it.
Yeah.
But that's what you.
Well, I'm just saying, until we find out if we can actually claim it on it, I mean, it's been like that for ages. I brought it up in a meeting probably about 2-3 months ago, the fact that was damaged.
So, is that a proposal then, to have it removed and made safe?
Well, the trouble is, Mr Chairman, I'm just concerned about how much that's going to cost.
I've no idea.
Well, that's what concerns me, because with the issue with the pump, which has occurred over the weekend, I'm just concerned about how much money we're going to have to pay all these bills. And perhaps we should leave this until we've actually know we've got money in the account.
In the meantime, it wouldn't I could find out, there's only one supplier or one person company that will deal with these to find how much it is to make it safe.
Well, that's no harm in asking, is there? But
As we may, yes, the only one.
There's another one in the queue, isn't there, as well?
Does
If you
Peter,
want the comparison.
does Peter know, Peter Sharp know, imagine?
My only concern about taking it off down to the ground, but if we put a claim to the insurance bureau, are they not going to want to see the evidence that it was clouted?
Got previous photos.
Not photographs.
Maybe that's
Photographic evidence, that'll do.
Yeah.
Do you want to keep that?
Okay, members, so the proposal is then we endeavour to make a claim through the insurance bureau. In the meantime, find out the costs of making this safe. Is that agreed?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is that unanimous?
Show of hands.
I expect anyone to shout if they don't.
Now, discuss the arrangements for Remembrance Sunday. Well, I have today discussed that with Teresa. You said she was going to try and make it here, but her and Marion,
Yeah.
you'll do the usual.
We'll have a meeting with Reverend Motley and, go through it all.
There is a series of letters to send out, isn't there? They need to be sent by in advance.
Yes,
Yeah, I think I've got details of all those.
very good. I'll speak to Teresa and...
One of the raised point, one of the bit of feedback from last year, Joe knows more about it than me, he should really say, is the fact that the uniformed children, guides, scouts, cubs, not on the road. And I wonder if they can be brought down onto the road, so they can actually take part in that.
Problem is, you can never see anything. We get the scouts, we get the guards, with everybody out there, they're stuck behind that hedge.
The problem
None
is,
of them can see what's going on. The road is closed, so the road is safe anyway. The public stand on it, but the children who technically got to carry these traditions forward can't see what's going on.
the problem is also, getting all those into the church, and it's like trying to get everybody in the church anyhow.
No, I'm about at the memorial.
Yeah,
Right,
yeah, I
they
know,
get into
but
the church,
they're all
is
down
the
there.
problem,
Hmm.
because they follow. Oh, yeah, for actually them seeing what's going on at the memorial. The church, yeah, we'll put up the church in the pub, because in the church can hear what's going on, but they can't see what's going on at the memorial with the lane of the reefs or anything.
But they're not the children do this, aren't they?
Well, they could stand in the road, and the adults who stand in the road could stand behind the hedge because they could see from there anyway. They're taller.
Yeah.
They can see what's going on, and the children could be on the road. Once we close the road, we could bring them all down and stand them there.
Last year, we put the contingent from Holton on the road, and the idea was that the uniformed children should be in front of that contingent.
And didn't that
It
happen?
didn't happen though.
And
because
well, there were some there, and there were some still behind the memorial, and I proposed that we just go for that as a plan.
Yeah, sounds good, yeah.
Bring all the children out.
For all the children.
Yeah.
Because the adults will stand, I'm
So
I'm
the
sure they'll.
you could see it from the other side of the hedge.
Yeah.
So the Holton contingent is where it was,
Yeah.
and then the uniformed children are in front of that contingent, and then the village is around.
And
Yeah.
Holton be coming this year, Paul? Yeah.
One of them, Mifsud, has emailed Teresa, I see, so that would imply something positive.
Can I just make this for more of a personal view on more the church side of it? I'm going to read this in place. There was a lot of RAF present, obviously, thanks yourself for that. But when we got into the church, they took up a big portion of the seating up, the RAF and the cadets. And there was a lot of villagers, elderly villagers, that had to stand.
Well, we do thank you for...
Yeah, I know, and I know you do your best, and you do a very good job. I'm not having a go, Marion, I'm just sort of, it was my observation that a lot of people from the village who wanted to go there with their children were standing while there was cadets of about 15, 16 or whatever, all sat in the pews. And really, I think they could be, I'm not really,
Okay.
I'm not telling you what to do, but
No.
my view is that perhaps they should be standing and the villagers.
So you think that, so we could stand, because the cadets could stand, couldn't they, really?
The
Just
training
that-
corps cadets.
Yeah, yeah,
I think
yeah.
so.
And-
Because I know some people were put off by staying because of the fact they just couldn't sit, stand or do anything,
Okay, right.
which I think is a shame because it's a village event.
They're all 14 and above, so
Yeah, they
it's
can
not
go fine.
unreasonable to
We
ask.
just need to
They
put
should
them,
be able to stand.
yeah, just get them all together in one visit place, so, okay, I'll note that. Right.
That's just an observation, man.
No,
I'm
it's
not,
good.
I'm
No, it's
not having a go
good.
because it's a well-run event.
Oh, yeah, and it's great that you suggested it, because that's the only way we can go forward, isn't it? Right,
Anyhow, it's all in hand, is it, Mary?
not the moon, but there will be.
Yes, well, those letters, I've seen them in the files, they need to go up, don't they?
Yeah,
And we're well in advance of November.
yeah.
Berks County Council proposed devolution of services and AVDC's proposals. These documents have been circulated. In fact, we mentioned this several times at Parish Council meetings. There were several options in place. The first one was do nothing, and the Berks County Council would carry on cutting the grass. Possibly not so many times. The second one was that we joined with our neighbours and formed a cluster, and then engaged a contractor to cut the grass. Buckland wanted to go along with the AVDC. Like to get it right. Western Turville, they were considering cutting the grass, but they wanted to do it within a 40-mile limit, which at the moment is not allowed because of safety issues. So that they weren't a proposal. So we were left really, members, with either leave things out there as they are, or join as with our district council's proposal and with other parish councils, and they would therefore use their present contractor if we agree, and take over the service for ourselves and other parishes in the Isle of Vale.
So I'll start the ball rolling. My proposal, Chairman, is that we join with the AVDC scheme. I don't think we have the resource to manage the process on our own. I don't think the financial incentive is not even the right word from Bucks will be sufficient, and it's got no longevity to it. And if we've got no neighbouring partners to form a worthwhile cluster,
Anyone else?
I think one question, will AVDC take on the work that Bucks County Council should have done, or the work that Bucks County Council did do? Because there's a difference.
Well, I understand that they'll be taking on the work that the Bucks County Council did do.
That will leave at least one area in the parish unknown. Because
Chair.
Bucks County Council just refused, even though it's on their map, to mow an area in Wilmore Close.
Oh, yes, you mentioned this before.
Well, it's still untouched. And it is clear as a bell on Bucks County Council's map as something they should do. I don't know if there are other instances in the village.
I don't know. We do have their maps. So members, anyone else got a view on this?
I support it.
I suppose it's not.
You support it. So we go along with the Aylesbury Vale District Council's proposed scheme. Is that agreed?
Unanimous?
That's unanimous. The next three items on the agenda were put forward by Jean, and she's not with us, and she didn't actually leave us any documents to discuss in advance.
Has anybody got any information on that item at all?
So check the next three items.
Can we put it on to next month's agenda, please?
That's the next three.
Well, if she wants it on next week, yes, of course.
Well, I'll log it on then.
Thank you.
We've got one letter here under correspondence from a...
Sorry, Mr. Chairman, can I take it clear? Which are the ones, I thought you said there were three
It looks like
from
four.
Jean.
Four, doesn't it?
No, the 1, 3, 2, 3, 3 and 4.
What is 131?
That's a membership of the staff, oh sorry, yes, I missed one. The membership of, by the staff of the local government pension scheme. That document's been circulated from Claire Lewis, from Bucks County Council, and well, you all had a chance to read it, but basically it's saying that if we want to come out of the scheme, at the moment any employer for the parish council can join the scheme. If we want to come out of the scheme, then they will employ an actuary at a cost of best part of £2,000 plus VAT, and to see if there's any legal requirement on deficit and cost to ourselves.
We don't have anybody at the moment, do we?
We don't at the moment, but
Well,
We could potentially, I mean.
I'm having a bit of a deja vu moment. Did we not refer this to Finance and Staffing Committee?
not to my knowledge, no.
Does this not fit squarely within the remit
Okay.
of the Finance and Staffing Committee?
Well, I don't know when this email's come in this month, how soon Claire Lewis-Smith wants a reply.
But it doesn't matter, does it? Because at the moment,
You haven't got any.
We haven't got anyone in the scheme.
excuse me, it was on last, was resolved that Finance and Staff Committee would discuss the possibility of council employees' eligibility to join the local government pension scheme at their next meeting.
okay, so Jeff's right, so it goes to the,
It goes to staff and finance. I think this was a chase-up email to say, can we have a response? Okay, they'll go into staff and finance. So the other next three items, as I said, we don't have papers on those. Correspondence, we've got a letter from Catherine Ramirez from Guddlecote, and she's and her sister are currently in talks with the creator of Kiddie Kicks about starting a franchise rather in this area of friendly football classes for toddlers and young people from 18 months to 6 years. And she's seeking our support if she set up a group in our park. I don't think we would probably know, Dave, do we? We don't have anyone under 6, do we?
Well, they've got a bit of a shortage on that, but I believe there is, when we spoke to Andy Smith last time, that they've got no other footballing unit can come into the park. That's how we're currently with that contract with them. So we might have to refer back to that and double check that before we.
And talk to, I mean, we should sort that out. I think that should be something that, again, our group should look at and
Definitely.
talk to Andy,
Yeah.
shouldn't we?
Yeah, because it might be a good feeder for them, they might be quite happy
Absolutely.
with it. But I think before we cut back on that, we need to perhaps engage the Colts on that one to make sure everyone's happy on that, and whereabouts they're going to set up, etc. Because obviously,
Well, they're looking for 2 sessions a week, hopefully Saturday mornings and 1 afternoon.
We've got to be careful, haven't we?
yeah, because Saturday mornings are busy.
I mean, it's going to be very careful, we've got to be very careful.
Weekends are busy, aren't they? The football park.
And they'd be relatively small ones, wouldn't they, for 18 months onwards. So we'll.
Well, if we look at it, if we can look at it in the football.
The football.
Yeah, and we get back to say next month. Yeah, the football.
So we're finished.
Any new business to be discussed and noted and put on next month's agenda? Well, you already suggested 1, 3, 2, 3 and 4.
Yeah, well, that's, yeah, definitely, yeah. It's not been discussed this month, we need to discuss it. 2, 3 and 4, isn't it?
I'm just concerned about the agenda, the 2 things, because, and it relates to football. I spoke to my neighbour Richard Nichols about the culvert issue, and he's not had any information yet from anyone about the design of that. Well, we're now in September. Also, one of the issues that Dave and I have got to take forward is we've got to get someone here to look at how we're going to change or maybe reconfigure and improve some of the football pitches. And, you know, this just isn't good enough. We've you know, the county council have got to get on. This work needs doing. I mean, it needs to do it. If it's going to be done, it needs to be done in the next couple of months.
Well, the last meeting, they said they were going to have surveyors.
Yeah.
They give us the details of the route, and we have had nothing as.
No, but the issue is that we've got some. This is why I'm again worried about the role of the parish clerk, because if this is something that Dave and I have got to do in relation to the football committee, but actually we all need to do in relation to the park. So where is it? You know, I mean, who's going to follow it up? Are we going to follow it up?
Well, the correspondence.
Because we can't leave it another month. I mean, you know, don't forget, we only need another winter like last winter, and we're in.
We have a contact who's directly involved in it,
Yeah.
and so I'll ask her.
But it's just really the question of how we're going to progress this, because I think it needs chasing up now, almost on a daily basis. I'm quite prepared to do it if that's what or I know the 2 of us might do it if that's what the council agree, but we can't just leave it in abeyance.
Well, Councillor Chappell may be able to help us.
Well, if I may, Chairman, this is still the same culvert you were
Yeah.
talking about at the last.
At the last
Last
meeting,
meeting.
and nothing's happened.
I thought I remembered at that meeting that the environmental agency was going to do something with the culvert. We don't know what as yet, but they were taking on the responsibility. But are we more than glad to pick it up with the relevant county council officer? If the
Yeah.
clerk can give me the extension and person involved, I'll chase it before the next meeting.
Yeah, no, that's really helpful. It's just the timing, you know. That's,
I know, but let me
Yeah.
take it up quickly, but I'm sure when I sat roughly the same place last month, environmental officer, environmental agency was mentioned, and that they were taking on some of that responsibility.
But it's still, you
I
know,
don't know what they're doing to do.
well, the thing is though, that it's still effectively on county council land.
It's
So,
it's a grey area, isn't it?
it is, but I mean, it's great that they're paying for it, but you know, they're not the sharpest
No, I know.
group on earth, you know. So,
Very frank. But Chairman, I'm more than happy to.
well, perhaps we can liaise a bit,
Yes,
if that's,
I'll
Yeah.
give you my number.
The Environment Agency were prepared to do the work, but the Bucks County Council were going to do the survey to see exactly the
I'll
route.
chase it, Chairman.
So we will wait in the survey,
Okay.
so to know the route.
okay, thanks very much. So, we're agreed then that we'll keep this on the agenda, but take it, I mean, I'm happy to work with you to
Yes,
press it, and councillor.
I've got a direct contact with
Yeah.
who's involved, so we'll wait for their survey.
Yeah, but
He wants
waiting for Godot. Sorry, I have no I've got confidence in the county council chasing this up. I have no confidence in the Environment Agency.
well, they will
That's my
ultimately have to do the work.
Yeah.
Right, to consider and approve planning applications, all plans are available to view at the parish office during office hours, and they're quite a pile.
Well, the thing is that we haven't done quite what we were supposed to. Normally, we would produce for this meeting a list of those applications that we have not objected to, and I haven't done that. And it's just I want to make sure that next time I'll have to send that to you so that it can go out with the papers. Just to say that we have but it was agreed, I think, that anything that we objected to, that we would come forward, and we have objected formally to a development of 4 houses in Brook Street. So, and that, I sent that objection, I think, 2 days ago.
Okay, thank you.
Otherwise, we've supported.
So, for me to list on minutes what's actually been approved by the council and what's been decided by ADPC, can I liaise with you?
Yeah, and I need to send that, for the next parish council meeting, I need to give you a list, as I did at the last meeting, as to all the applications that we've considered.
Are you aware of the new arrangements that have come into place
I'm
now
not,
with ADPC? They will no longer be sending the little booklets, that's saving us all money, postage, but you'll get it by email.
okay.
So in view of the fact that you don't have a clerk, would you like me to contact the planning department and ask them to send them to me? And I can ensure that you all get them then. The advantage of this is that every councillor can then have a look at the planning bulletin.
It's fine.
That's good.
Well, I mean, that's fine.
Yes, it's probably more than we get now.
It is, yeah.
The only thing is, these are chunky documents. Some of them, I mean, if you can see some of the ones that we've got there, they're enormous.
If there's a plan that relates to your area, you will still get hard copies of the plans.
Oh, right. No, we are not making any comments on planning applications that don't relate to
No,
Aston.
but people will worry that they
Okay.
weren't going to get any copies of plans, but no, you still will get copies of plans.
Okay. But I will make sure that before the next council meeting,
That you have a list.
that you've
of
got
what's
a
on
list so
there.
that members of the public, people can see what we've done.
Is that all on planning then? Public participation. 15 minutes, no one to speak for more than 3 minutes. Keith wants to be first.
I don't know why it's funny, but I've got an issue just the way you put it. Back in March, this item read, for members of the public to ask questions, raise issues on items on the agenda, items not on the agenda, and requiring decisions will be considered next. There's no time limit, no limit on how many can speak. Suddenly, in the last couple of months, we get 15 minutes maximum, no one speaks more than 3 minutes. There's a significant interest in the democracy as it applies to this village. that we're maybe going through a tough time, but I really think it's wrong to shut it off at 15 minutes and only allow 5 to speak. I finish.
Thank you.
Well, I'd like a response.
Well, you'll find that's our previous clerk found that in her standing orders.
I don't think that's
It's
relevant to
actually
my answer.
a standard procedure for a time limit to be put on the open forum. Every council I work for has always had a time limit.
You keep on saying that's history, we
But
need to go
yes,
forward.
the reason behind that is otherwise meetings tend to go on for rather long.
Perhaps they need to once in a while, just once in a while, because we're all interested and want to say things.
Right, but the point, the object is for you to raise something. If you want the council to make a decision, you should be able to say it quickly enough for it to go on the agenda for the next meeting.
I've done my piece, but you're limiting it to 5 people totally in 15 minutes. That's the people I'm objecting to. If 10 people want to speak, I think we should be allowed to.
Well, of course, it's not a legal requirement for you to have an open
I'm not
forum.
interested in law, I'm interested in democracy. I think if 10 people want to speak, they should be allowed to. Especially at these times of stress in this council, that you admitted is a stressful time, and one way of clearing the stress is to allow people to say their piece. But I won't say any more because I promised twice I wouldn't.
That's all right.
Thank you.
I'd appreciate it if you wouldn't grin at me because I mean it seriously.
Mr. Chairman, you do actually have a motion option to extend the speaking time within your standing orders.
Thank you.
I'd like to ask a question. At the very beginning, you said about appointment of the new clerk, and you asked for all the members for a motion, and nobody responded. And yet, the clerk is still here.
Oh, do you want me to go?
Pardon?
So
No,
we-
I just don't understand why there's a motion put forward and nobody responds to it. It's like it doesn't matter.
No vote.
There was no vote.
Is it needed to vote on this?
This is
Appointment
one
of
those
personnel.
occasions where I think that because it's a situation in which you find yourself whereby you don't have a clerk, common sense has to come into play.
Appointment of personnel requires a vote by council.
Well, I'm not personnel, I'm here as a locum clerk, so
Employee.
you're not undertaking me.
There's a contract.
No,
Sorry, I'm not trying to subvert the meeting, but, you know, presumably there's terms and conditions, a job description, and some form of contract.
To clerk a meeting,
Or we don't know. I think this is what the councillors were raising.
right?
They don't know under what terms you're actually going to be
Would
working.
you like a vote to be taken on the matter?
Well, that's the formality which we would have expected to see after the lecture we got.
Would you like to propose a motion that I clerk the meetings?
I'm very happy to propose that Christine Clark's the meeting retrospectively, if that's required.
I'm happy to second that proposal.
Can we have a show of hands on that one?
Sorry, just clerk this meeting.
Well,
It might be the next meeting too, we just don't know. Well, we haven't now at
Is
the
it,
moment.
is it down to the Finance and Staff Committee to?
Well, Christine wasn't available until last Thursday to see me. We couldn't rather have a start with finance meeting in that short
To
space.
make this decision, well, we need a Finance and Staff meeting to go beyond this meeting.
No, you don't, because you can make decisions if your finance and staff committee, the people are here anyway. I see little point in creating meetings. If the people are here,
Well, I've got to go back to, I'm still confused exactly what your role is, because initially it was just taking the minutes, then you've looked at the finances, and now we're talking about some work on plan applications or something a minute ago. So it's not, it's just a bit disjointed. In my eyes, it's all a bit disjointed. It's good that you're here, and we need a locum, and I'm quite happy to do it. But I just don't see what the remit of the job is, because it's like that you'll be available to us as and when, perhaps whoever will decide when we can speak to you. I mean, we've still got no point of contact on a day-to-day basis. We don't know exactly when you're working for the council, when you're not, how much you're charging. We are limited in our budget, exactly what we have got. I just don't understand really what, I think it needs to be
well, we
something.
can sit down and sort out something.
But it needs to surely have something to do with finance and staff meeting. Perhaps we need to have a meeting.
Well, you need to formally prove that you want to put in an advert for a permanent clerk.
Yeah, well, I've yet to receive that. I have emailed the chairman today, saying he's using the wrong email address.
So
I don't know,
just to get out of that then, let's propose that you, retrospectively, that you handle this meeting and that the Finance and Staffing Committee sort it out for the future. I mean,
well,
that's
we
not
need
what
to have a
we...
bit of clarity on it. To me,
No, but I
I've
mean,
been confused all night on it, to be perfectly honest. I don't know what.
Yes, but if it goes back, if we say we handle this meeting now,
Yeah, that's fine.
and then the role can be
Yeah.
sorted out formally at the Finance and Staffing Committee. Isn't that all it needs?
After the meeting, we have a clear list of items that need doing as a result of the meeting. At that point, I will sit down with Richard, and if it seems that some of it can be done easily and quickly by me, I'll undertake it. It depends. Until I've finished and done all of the minutes, I won't really know what actions there are and what's involved. If anybody's unhappy at all about me being here,
I'm not unhappy about you doing it, don't get me wrong, I'm just...
No, I
It's
think...
just that we talked about before about contracts which seem to be not done correctly, and this is just another example to me where there's no clarity on it.
as a local clerk, which Bucks Association of Local Councils know I am, I don't think there's any need for formal agreement in terms of the contract, but I will find out. I will find out.
Christine has in the past come in within 24 hours notice when our clerk went sick.
That's fine, Richard, that's 24 hours notice. We're talking about at the moment, an unended, open, we don't know what, I don't know exactly what our clerk's doing. I don't know when I can contact her. I don't know when I can speak to her about various issues that I might have and I need to speak to her about. Because it seems that the clerk's only available perhaps when you require the clerk or certain, I don't know. This is what's
What kind of
confusing.
issues do you anticipate coming
Well, I don't know, you never know. I had someone ring me tonight and want to speak to me. I mean, I don't know, some lady, I don't know what that may raise. It may raise an issue that I might need to speak to you about. I don't know. I mean, I don't know. It could be anything. We didn't know anything about this pump in the, out here, did we? Until the weekend.
Well, it didn't go wrong till the weekend.
Yeah, but we haven't even discussed it tonight, really, have we?
What, you had an emergency situation?
Yes.
Yeah.
When you have an emergency situation, someone has to deal with it. You haven't got a clerk. So, use some common sense. I mean, what's the alternative? You just let the thing run on?
No, I'm not saying that.
It's a bit like saying, well, oh, we've broken a window. We'll have to go parish council.
Well, no,
meeting.
what I'm saying is now, though, if we know that you're available, even if it's at an ad hoc basis, we know we can call you. But at the moment, we haven't got anything like that. We don't know what's in place.
Mr Chairman, I think we do need to sort this out. I'm sure the public are probably quite interested in talking, given that we've got 15 minutes.
Yeah. Bill's been worried.
Chairman, as you know, I've been councillor for many years, and over that time I have seen local clerks come in to cover emergency positions such as this. And it is quite normal for BULK, which is Bucks Association of Local Councils, to find a clerk who is willing to come in for a time to bridge the gap of the resignation of the last clerk to the appointment of a new clerk. In that time and in that period, they work as the clerk. But I know Christine, I've known her for many years, she is thorough. She is so thorough, she will take up a lot of her time that she might not have got. But I think the Parish Council are extremely fortunate to have got it here
I'm
to do
not
that.
questioning that at all. I'm
No, I'm
questioning
not,
exactly what...
I'm just saying
what
they
actions
do the
report to
work
the
of the
clerk.
clerk until your
Yeah,
new
but
clerk is...
the problem I've personally got is the chairman's required the clerk, or someone has to look through all the finances, and it's been done, but my avenue to that clerk has just been shut off because I don't know exactly what it is. That is my concern.
It's only just been put in place. I would hope that you'll get a clerk pretty quickly,
So do I.
provided you might be aware of the situation. You might not find it that evident. Let's say you get on within 2 months. What kind of issues do you anticipate needing to contact me over?
I don't know. This council is, at the moment, it's getting issues every single day.
If you've got problems or worries, you're quite welcome to contact me or even call in at Horton Parish Council office.
Right, okay, well, that's very kind of you. I might take you up on that.
Professor Field.
Just in reference to what the deferred item 14.134, safety measures for pond and park, I wondered whether the council had considered whether it might be a good idea to get to use one of the services that Rosper offers, which is a water audit of the safety, so as to inform your discussions when you do discuss it in committee.
Yes,
They're quite good, Rosper.
Rosby.
Quite reasonable.
Okay. Yes, thank you.
Hi, thanks for all the work you've done, Christine. Can I just ask, when you were given the 2013 accounts to review, what date that was, please?
Thursday or Friday.
The date, this last week?
Yes, it's last week.
Last Thursday, okay. Do you know,
When you say was given,
when you began to review
it was
possibly?
really, as a resident, I kind of
Yeah.
offered my services. I know that several councillors were concerned that perhaps there was something amiss. So I have been through them and I don't really know why I'm explaining on this.
I was just interested in the date, just so that I got my facts correct, and were we, as a council, paying clerks' hours for those to be reviewed, or was that your own time?
I've used my own time so
Okay,
far.
well, thank you for doing that. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Alan?
Right, could I ask for be put on the agenda for the next meeting, the format of these meetings? Because taking Keith's point, there was absolutely no opportunity for the public to discuss an agenda item before the council's discussed it and taken a vote on it. So if we do have any relevant input into what's on the agenda, we deny the opportunity. And that maybe the last item on the agenda is to the next meeting.
Okay. I mean, I was at one council meeting where they had public participation at the beginning.
That's what I was asking.
And that's no guidance, Mr Chairman.
Yeah. Yes, Bill?
Can I just put in a point of observation, and no more than that? You under 14131 tonight had a chance to talk about the pension scheme, and quite understandably said, doesn't count, you haven't got any person that's in for having a pension. You are just about to go through the process of putting in a new clerk, and if it was I who was going for the clerk, and I assure you it would be, but if it was me, I'd want to know what conditions I came under, including whether I got a pension or not. So I would have thought it is far better to talk about a pension scheme when you've not got a clerk here. Therefore, you're not putting in personalities, you're talking about the principle. And it might be something that your finance committee, between now and the next meeting, might like to take up. Because the new clerk, whoever he or she is, I'm sure would want their future looked at. Just an observation.
Yeah, okay.
No say in this, just a point.
I think I feel comfortable in saying that if Christine, perchance, was doing the minutes of said Finance and Starting Committee, I would welcome her input. Genuinely welcome her input.
No, I'm just putting that up.
Yeah, no, understood, but
I'm not
I don't
councillor.
have any embarrassment about Clark joining in on the discussion.
I think you need to set the meeting up pretty quickly for the staff and the finance.
Yes, well, that can be done. Any other question? Well, it's nearly 8:30, so, John Watson.
Chairman, what is the position with seeking a new clerk at the moment?
At the moment, the advert's been put together and it's ready to go.
It's going in Bucks Herald.
We're going to Bucks Herald.
And that usually goes on the Jobs Today site,
Right.
so it's got quite a wide circulation.
In my opinion, I think until you get a clerk, I don't see this council functioning very well. I don't see how it's going to function. It seems to me that if there's not a clerk in presence, the only person that I guess will be doing clerk's work on a day-to-day basis will be the chairman. And that's just another job he has to do.
Yeah.
So I think it's an ASAP.
Oh, yes, the advert's ready to go.
Right. Thank you.
Yeah. I'll close the meeting again then. Thank you all for coming.
Thank you.
Last again.